Hello, everyone. Um, this will be the first video I'll be ever posting on my channel, so welcome. This I will be focusing on meditating on life. It'll be more focused on chatting, to be fair, and I'll be talking about what I have in mind. Perhaps take some inspirations from books, from some philosophies, from something I found interesting. But it'll be pretty much me chatting to you guys and just making a little diary of my own thoughts. Like in short, I'll be just doing some meditations on whatever I'm thinking about at the moment. Okay, for today's episode and the first episode ever, I'll be talking about you know my current position in life and what you generally do with your life as a whole, what it means to be human, what it means to go through life, and what it means to accept life's realities and how you live through those. Okay, let's start. I'll be talking about my position, compare myself to other people, because that we all know that comparing is super fun. But okay, let's start. I am currently 17. I'll be becoming 18 in a short while. And I'm getting into the last year of my high school. So, you start to deal with the university stuff at this age. Your peers are, preparing for the national exams, universities, maybe jobs, even like, but 99% of people that I know at least are, they want to go to university to pursue a career, to do what they want. Not that most people are very academically ambitious, not that they care about information, they don't have to, but they want usually one of these two things: the university experience, which is really fun. I also want that, no lie. And the second, the money, which is fair enough. Your own life, you may want to be comfortable as you go through it, so it's totally understandable. But what strikes me the most is the reality of life is itself quite interesting. And my own, perhaps it's that my own path has led me to this thought, and I feel incredibly alienated. That may be it. But what I'm thinking, okay, I'm a Turkish guy. Yeah, I'm in Turkey, and I was born here. I'm just Turkish in every sense of the word. And thing is, I want to study abroad, right? I want to study psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, whatever, like just social sciences. That's what interests me. I can't imagine myself sitting at a desk, doing law stuff, doing machinery, like engineering. Perhaps I'm overgeneralizing it, but I want to do science and social sciences, if that makes sense. And what baffles me the most is how much we sometimes downplay the miracle of life. Not that we should be grateful or anything. I'm not going to go into like some spiritual, um, you know, gratefulness narrative. But when you think about it, you were thrown into this life. Like I didn't personally pick this flesh body. I didn't pick this, and I didn't choose to be born either. Not that I hate life. I think it's pretty good, but there is also the fact that we'll be talking about in a short while. But people don't seem to realize how miraculous this is, because how it get miraculous, if you ask me, is when you realize that you interact with the world, you are a being in the world. Heidegger reference. You're a being in the world, and you interact with the world itself, right? Through you embody your own existence. You touch stuff, you see stuff, you hear stuff, you taste, you smell, you feel stuff, and there is this experience within your entire body, and it is irreducible. It's one thing, like you are not, if you ask me, you're not one thing. You're not your brain, you're not your soul experiencing the world. You are your entire own being living through this world, if that makes sense. And that's quite very weird. If you Okay, you may be religious, and like it may be a very easy to think of it like you have a soul, it's in this body, it's commanding it and like living through life. I personally don't agree. I personally don't think that that's how it works because of the flowing nature of human, like being human, because like you're made of matter and energy, and there is not one thing that defines you. Like I may be stupid, I may be running fast, I may be very hungry for stuff, but none of those really capture who I am in the total sense, if that makes sense. So but what captures you the most, what you are in general, is you yourself. Like the thing that defines me the best, the sentence that defines me the best is I am myself. That's pretty much it. Like I am not a brain commanding the body. I am not stuck in this black box here because that's part of me and I am all of this. So it's really depressing to think otherwise because if you think that brain is commanding the body, it's not really. That's not how it works. That's not how evolution works either. It's not a nice framework to think through, if you ask me. Anyway, back to the topic. Yeah, when you realize how miraculous your own being is, because you connect to this entire world through your own lens. You cannot be anyone other than yourself. And the very fact that you can comprehend this, that you can think of anything, is built through yourself. So really, your entire being is full of assumptions and a very personal bias. Even the things that we accept as objective realities are you know comprehended through a subjective experience. You know, like I know gravity. Like I couldn't find an object. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. Um, you know, I know gravity. When I drop something, let's say my glasses, I know that it'll fall. But I know that it'll fall because I connected to this reality. I connected to this phenomena. So, in reality, you're isolated from the entire world, entire existence. And there is no one truth, there is no one aspect of you that is totally real out of this world. You are here. You are totally here. You're interacting with the world and you're becoming all the time. And at the end of this, because of the human condition, I am personally very stressed out about this. You die. It's not very viable to just think about this 24/7. It's not healthy either. But you are yourself and you will die. No matter what. It may be in your 40s, you may get murdered, you may get, I don't know, something might happen, you may get cancer. And even if those things don't happen, you will grow old and die. Well, some of you may say, "Oh, we have spirits and we go to heaven," which might be, by the way. I hope I'm wrong, or that we will become immortal. No, not really, because thing is, everything is impermanent. Even this moment, even myself, nothing really lasts forever. That's the nature of things. It's just like, did you know that, if I'm not mistaken, every 8 years or so, every atom in your body is replaced because you eat, you defecate, you urinate, and all such. So you're always changing. You're never one thing, and this sensations, everything you know, is a physical reality, and you connect to everything through yourself, and you will die. But the point is, you still feel stuff, even if you can't point out how things really are in their nature. Well, we feel love, we feel hunger, we feel, you know, taste. We taste stuff. We do things. We feel stuff. Definitely, I feel pain, like if I pinch my arm, for example. But can you point to how that happens? Can you describe how that happens? Like, can you really capture it? No. So you are really stuck in this reality, and so that leads me to thinking, like in my current position of life, let's hope that I go to a U.S. college, to pursue the career that I want, pursue the academic interests that I want, not because I don't really care about money, I don't really care about prestige. I have some questions that are really personal to me, and some projects that I would like to pursue. I just think of colleges as means to an end that is not me. Like that end itself is for humanity, for my own intellectual curiosity. I just see careers, jobs, people, like they can be bridges to some stuff, but other than that, they are something to be experienced in of themselves. Like I want that college experience for itself and for myself. Like I want it for a lot of reasons. I want it as a means to itself, like as Immanuel Kant would say, like I want that for itself, not for myself. But at another dimension, I want it for something else too. So maybe that's just plain hypocrisy. I wouldn't know. But what I'm trying to get here is that I'm kind of baffled by the fact that we live. We are alive at all. We feel stuff. And we will die. Nobody knows how it's going to happen, and nobody knows how it feels. It doesn't feel like anything. It's the good thing about death is you won't be there to experience it. Maybe you'll feel incredible pain, in the way. Maybe you get cancer. I hope you don't, or like man, just arm blows off. It could be anything, and it will happen to some people, statistically speaking, which is like the most frightening part. It could be anything, but life is learning to navigate through those things and holding on to life in the meanwhile, doing what you love, and but I think it is good to remember that we die and the world is very uncertain. So when I see friends just preparing for, I don't know, studying law, studying machinery, engineering, I think, cool, they are pursuing what they want. But I can't help but ask, did they really choose this themselves? Do they realize how special and full of themselves in this part of history that we exist in? Because we are part of history. We will be remembered. We will be affecting something in the future. And we are defined by our past. Not that we are not free. I personally think that we are incredibly free as humans, because that's the nature of being with the big B itself. Because I think being itself is free, so everything inside of it is also free, and that also applies to human nature, if you ask me. Because otherwise, morality doesn't really work if you don't assume agency, yada yada yada. But I think that people need to develop their own sense of ethics, sense of religion, the worldview themselves. They need to realize how tiny and precious and fragile their lives are. Like it can't be wasted away. You shouldn't allow for, like, it may happen. We are sometimes, like, eventually we are a victim of our own circumstances. Like I didn't choose this body, I didn't choose this gender, I didn't choose this room. Like a lot of things are beyond my control. But what I have is my mind, my being, and my uh, what was the English word for it? My attitude, yeah, towards it. Like I can only take attitude towards death, life, uncertainty, whatever, morality, life events, genocides, systematic failures of capitalism, and how everything is kind of connected to it. Um, so that's why I think philosophy is super important, and it is, like, I think it's being purposely downplayed a lot, because it's a path to freedom, and freedom isn't always nice, because as I said, when you're free, you are responsible, and there is no life map when you're free, because that's the definition, kind of, in the nature of being free, right? You are free to do anything. Nobody helps you. There is no knowing what's going to happen, and nobody knows the implications when you're free. So it is quite a difficult task to be free. But is it worth it? Personally, right now, I'm kind of torn between those options, because I'm 17. I have nothing. That is my life. I don't have my own income. Oh, I've done nothing that is my own. Like, I've done a lot of things, but, like, speaking of the material life aspect stuff, like, yeah. So um, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to say. I think that life is short when you think about it. Like, it is quite bothersome sometimes. It's hard to live through. Like, when you realize, when you get too aware of your own existence, how uncertain actually everything is. Well, we're all living on assumptions. We're all living that we won't die the next day, that, or that there is meaning in this universe, or that we're not machines. A lot of assumptions. We make a lot of assumptions, dude. Like that, we like subconsciously we are in a very dreamlike state. Well, I think there's a very important distinction to know about this. You may know about things, but you may not believe in those things. Such as the case of religion, if you ask me. You know you're going to die, but you don't really believe it, do you? Like, when you die, you go to heaven. Is that really death? Does that count as death? Are you downplaying death, or is that a coping strategy? Who knows? I hope it's right. I hope we'll all be forgiven. I think it's like, if there was some simple explanation to that, it'll be awesome. But looking at the neurological, evolutionary, psychological, and existential side of all of these things, we more often than not just prefer ignorance, because ignorance is bliss, but bliss is not always helpful. Bliss is not healthy. Well, bliss kills you in the end, and not taking bliss also kills you. But you get to choose at least how you live your life. When on one side you're happy, but you're like a goddamn addict, and you know it. And on the other side, you just suffer under the weight of existence. Like, sometime, some most of the time. I don't know. I haven't lived for that long. I have my consciousness for 8 years at most. I'm 17. Like, I don't remember anything past 9 years old. But my point is that um, we should stay connected. We need one another. We need to do stuff. We need to take action. We need to learn more about this world, and we need to create our own meaning, because we really can't do anything else. Everything other than that is assumption and beyond our control. Our planet, our existence, our world. As I said, there is so many things that we don't know. So many things. But the act of living, despite knowing these, I think it's quite miraculous. I'm scared at the moment. I'm scared of existing. I'm scared of living, because I am going to die, just like everybody else. And I don't know my story. I don't know how it's going to happen. And nobody can die my death, as nobody can live my life. So, the fact that we're free is unfortunately not some Instagram worthy. You're special in your own right. It's rather more scary when you go into the depths of it. But I think it can be done. Well, people have lived with this reality for thousands of years. Well, and they lived quite nicely, in fact, like according to their statements at least. So there is probably a way. For all those who watch this, I thank you for watching. Nobody's probably going to watch this, but it doesn't really matter. I hope you learned something. I hope it's been helpful in any sense of the word. If I'm going to leave a message to myself and for all of humanity, um, everybody, please come back to this world, and let's build something meaningful, because our lives are really fragile. We don't know what's going to happen. Even science itself, like the scientific facts that we know, are based on very simple assumptions that being, existence, is there, as being, like existence, isn't falsifiable or testifiable. You can't point to something that doesn't exist. So existence isn't scientific. Not that we should go just hug some spiritual explanation for that. But what I'm trying to say is, we need one another. We are social creatures, and we have a lot of capacity to do things. And if you have the light, if you have thoughts, you should share it with other people. You should try. You should, be honest to yourself and this world. Like, being honest to yourself, being authentic about your own existence, doesn't really mean you disregard everybody else. It means that you do, because when you realize how fragile and how full of yourself you actually are, you come to realize others, every single human is like you. They're living an experience that they can't really explain. So, at that point, I think when you've truly realized it, if you're not a, you don't have a pathological problem, you are filled with a sense of mercy or pity, even. Like, not that you should be pitying people, but you need to realize nobody chose to be born. Nobody dictates what happens with existence, but everybody is trying. Even if they don't know it, or if they know it, they may be, even if they're like very comfortable, they're trying. Everybody's trying to hold on to life. Some things need to change systematically and socially, but we can do that together. Not that we are, as I said, I think you can realize how miraculous your own being is and then share this with others. You can be both individualistic and with your own community. I don't think those two need to contradict each other, even though some political agendas would want us to believe. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and see you next time.